Hey y'all, I'm Dennis. Thanks for watching my video. Today I'm going to show you how I change the chain on my 2003 Honda Shadow VT750 Ace. You can use a lot of the same process on other motorcycles because it's very similar, but specifically I'll be doing it on a 2003 Ace today. You'll need to know first what size and length chain your motorcycle takes. This particular bike takes a 525 chain. Most of your motorcycles are going to take either a 40, a 50, or a 60 series chain. Smaller bikes like, smaller displacement dirt bikes, that kind of thing, they're going to take like a 40 series, like a 420, 428, something like that. Your bigger cruisers are going to take, and some of your like sport bikes are going to take like a 520, a 525, or a 530 chain. This particular bike takes a 525 chain at 122 inches. So again, for your particular bike, you'll have to know exactly what chain you need and what length chain you need, what pitch and what length you need. So with that, let's get started. Now, you don't have to have your bike on a lift to change the chain. You can do it on the kickstand. I've got mine on a lift just because it's going to be a whole lot easier to film and for me to get the details recorded. But yeah, you can do it on the kickstand. Basically, all you have to do is move the rear axle in, take the tension off the chain, take the chain cover off, break the chain, put the new one on, put it together, and then put everything else back together. Now, I've currently got my seat off because I'm charging my battery. So rather than go through all the details about how to take the tension off the chain, I'm going to leave a link right here to another video that I have that shows how to get the rear wheel off the bike, and it'll go through the process of getting the tension off the chain. So check that out. On my particular bike, I've got, this is just an extra, like a dress-up panel, so it just covers up the black part of the frame. It doesn't have to come off. This is your sprocket cover, and there's a 8mm bolt right there that you need a socket and an extension on to get it off. So we're going to take that off first. It's right in there. And then you just, the rest of this cover just pops in. It's got, it's going to be dirty. It's got these, if you can see those, let's see if I can show them to you. It's got three little, I don't know what to call it. It's an insert that goes into these, this is one of the rubber holders that it goes into. There's another one here. There's another one here on my bike. It's broken. That part's broken off. It was broken when I bought the bike. But this is that's your sprocket cover, of course. So you can see I've got all the tension off the chain. Basically, you just loosen the axle and run the adjusters all the way in so there's no tension left on it. So now we're ready to pull the chain off. Now, depending on what kind of chain you have, see if I can show you this where you can see it. This particular link right here is the master link. Now, on a master link, you're either going to have a riveted master link or you're going to have one with a clip. It just depends on what you like or what your bike has. Mine has a clip chain on it, and I use a clip link. A lot of people don't like them and they use a riveted link. That's fine. It's whatever you want to use. You can tell on the front side if it's a clip because it's going to have an open on one end, so you can pop that clip off, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. If you don't have that and it's just an oval master link, and it'll look a little different than all the rest of the links, you're going to need some kind of a rivet tool like this. There's all different kinds. I'll leave a couple of links below on rivet tools that you can buy that aren't terribly expensive. And what you do is you take your rivet tool and you put it on your link, and you tighten this up, and it pushes the rivet out of the master link so you can get the master link off, or so that you can get it open and then pull the chain off. So it's really just a matter of what type of master link you have on your chain as to how you get it off, and then also how you're gonna, what you buy to replace it with, how you're gonna put it back on. I've got a clip link, so I'm just gonna take it and push that clip off. I like to use linesman pliers because they're square on the front, and I think it's a little bit easier to get that clip off. You can use anything you got. You can use a standard pair of pliers, it'll be fine. what I'll do is I'll catch the back of that front rivet and the open end of the clip with the jaws. So I don't know how well you can see that, but just like so, because with these or a regular set of pliers you can catch both tips of that clip. So I'm just going to catch it like that and just push it off, and then you can see now, I hope you can see that on camera, you can see now how that clip is pushed back. And then I'll just take either a pair of needle nose or like a screwdriver, stick in there and back that clip off like so. Once you get clear of that front rivet, you can turn it and then push it up. Now the clip comes off. Then you can pull this front plate off of the master link. Loosen that link up. It'll come right off, like so. Pull the rest of it out, and now your chain's broken. I'll just roll the rear tire backwards, dump all the chain off back here, and now it's all off. Now I got the chain off. Of course, this is a good time to inspect your rear sprocket and your front sprocket for wear. If they're too worn, you'll know you need to order a set. Mine are kind of getting close, but they're not bad. It'll be fine. So now we're ready to put the new chain on. So now I got my new chain. Sometimes they'll come in a bag, sometimes not. This one came in a bag. And you'll have, this is a clip, I bought a clip chain because that's generally what I use. It's just a little bit easier for me. So you'll have your two ends, right? And then it will also come with your link. Now the key is, if you use an O-ring chain, which I do, you got to be careful with these little bags. You're gonna have the link with the pins on it, okay, and then you're gonna have the front link plate, then you're gonna have the clip, and then you're gonna have 4 O-rings, and they're slippery because they're lubricated. So don't throw that bag away with the O-rings in it, because you're gonna need them. And that's true whether you use a clip or a rivet chain, or a clip or a rivet master link. You're still gonna have to put those O-rings in. We'll do that here in just a second. Now you can also take advantage of the opportunity while you've got your covers off to get in there and clean if you want. Like I say, inspect everything. Inspect your, like with me, I'll inspect my shifter linkage. I'll inspect my sprocket, make sure it's all good. Inspect my rear sprocket. So what I'm gonna do is take my new chain, and it'll be stiff. It won't be anything like your old chain. The old chain's gonna be, all sloppy and loose, and this chain will be stiff. So you have to kind of work with it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one end of my chain, and I'm gonna thread it over the rear sprocket, and then it's gonna come down and shoot down in there, and then I'm gonna get enough out, and I'm gonna pick it up and put it over the front sprocket, right here, and then run it that way, and then I'll have both tails hanging down. That way I can work with joining the chain on the bottom side. To me, that's just the easiest way to do it. So stick the chain over here, put it on the back sprocket, and turn that. Be careful not to pinch your fingers, because if you get your finger in between that chain and that sprocket, it will pinch you. Make sure that it's threading on there flat, and then it'll start coming off till you got enough to get to that front sprocket. So I need just a little bit more. So you're gonna take your chain and thread it up, kind of under the chain guard and over the swing arm, and just push it up here through to where it goes. Line it up on your front sprocket. The guide is gonna run it through, so all you got to do is kind of just push it through. You may have to straighten it out as you go, because it's going to have bends in it or whatever, but and just push it through there. On this bike, go under your shifter linkage and just pull it on through to keep your chain straight. Now we're getting to the point where we can put it together. So double check your chain path. Now we're ready to put the link in. All right, so again, make sure that you can, that the two ends of your chain are close enough to where you can get your link in. I'm gonna take my link with the pins on it, and I'm gonna stick an O-ring on each pin, like so, just so that it slides down up against this plate. Right? Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to slip it in there, get it together, which might be a stretch. Come on. Slip it in there. All right. So now I've got it in there. Take my other O-rings, put them on the pin, on each pin. Take my plate. They're not really marked for inside outside, but most of the chains I've ever gotten, there's actually one side that the corners won't be broken on the plate and the other corners will be. I'll put the broken corners on the outside. So what you got to do is you got to get this link closed up so you can get the clip on there. You got to be able to expose the little grooves that are on the end of these pins, and understand that this plate is kind of a tight fit. So what I do is I open my vice grips way up so they're just barely wider or narrower than the width of the link. Put it on there, give it a little squeeze, and then kind of work that link. Push that link in the top because you're clamping on the bottom, and then you can get it closed up enough to get your clip on there. If you have a rivet master link, same idea. That's what I've done with rivet chains before too. Get them on there, get it squeezed into place, and then take your rivet tool and line your rivet up, push it through, and then you're fine. So the way these things work is you got this goes on the front pin. Well, you can put it however you want. I like to put them on so that this, when I'm putting the link on the bottom, that the open end is on the front pin. So what you want to do is you want to get that, you see how that hole is wider on the front than is the back. Get it on the pin. I didn't leave myself enough room, so I got to move this over a little bit. Okay. I'm not clamping down on there because I don't want to scratch it all up, for one thing. And secondly, you just don't need to. All you're trying to do is compress those O-rings just a touch. So put that on there. Now you've got it in that groove. It's not going to really go anywhere, so you can let that off and get that up in there like so. And then do just a reverse. Instead of prying on this pin in the front of the clip, I use the rear pin and the back of the clip, and pop it on there. So then the rest is just going in reverse. Tension your chain. You want to tension it so that there's about 3/4 of an inch play in the bottom, and make sure you remember to tighten up your axle bolts and torque them. Again, I got a video on that. And then put your cover back on, pop it in place, make sure that it goes into all three of the openings, and put your 8mm bolt in, tighten that up, and you're done. You can grease your chain however you prefer. Some people don't grease theirs at all. Some people use wax, some people use oil, whatever. Some people, before they put their chain on, will take it and soak it in oil. That's up to you. I'm not going to get into that because that's there's all kinds of opinions about what to do with your chain. I use wax on mine, but that's all I use because they're O-ring chains. So anyway, that's up to everybody else. The other thing with the new chain is run it a little bit, not too much. You know, put maybe whatever 50, 100 miles on it, something like that. And then you're probably going to have to tension it up again because it's going to get loose on you. Once you do that once or twice, then you'll be good to go for a while. Thanks for watching my video, folks. If you would, give me a thumbs up below, subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you back soon. Thanks again. God bless you.